They shake your hand with a smile, but their other hand holds the knife. They call you brother, but only while you're useful. They cheer for your success until it threatens their own. No one says it out loud, but every man feels it. That vague unease around others, that twitch in the gut when something doesn't feel right. We call it paranoia. Machiavelli called it wisdom, because the most dangerous lie we're taught is that people are inherently good, that friendships are unconditional, that if you show loyalty, you'll be rewarded with the same. But that's not how power works. That's not how human nature operates beneath the surface. Niccolò Machiavelli, a man feared and misunderstood, saw what most of us are too afraid to admit, that kindness is often a strategy, that loyalty is rented, not owned, and that in the game of power, no one is truly your friend. Look around you. Every relationship, every alliance, every smile you receive, it's not built on love.
So if you've ever felt the sting of betrayal, if you've ever wondered why people turn cold the moment you rise, if you've ever questioned the nature of your closest alliances, then this video isn't just for you, it's about you. Because what Machiavelli knew, and what few dare to confront, is that the path to true power begins with one terrifying, liberating realization. No one is your friend, and that's your greatest advantage. Welcome to Psychra. Loyalty is romanticized. We're told that good men are loyal, that real friends stick around no matter what, and that commitment is its own virtue. But Machiavelli saw something different. He saw that loyalty is never unconditional. It's transactional, temporary, contingent upon power, fear, or benefit. He warned rulers never to trust the affection of their subjects or the allegiance of their allies. Why? Because people are loyal to their needs, not to you. And once their needs change, so will their devotion. Machiavelli didn't hate people. He just refused to lie about them. He saw the court of Florence not as a place of justice or honor, but as a theater of masks, where nobles praised each other in public, then plotted each other's ruin behind closed doors. And the more powerful you became, the more smiles you attracted, and the more daggers. That hasn't changed. In modern life, loyalty often disguises itself as friendship. But look closely. Does this person stand beside you because they believe in your soul, or because they find safety in your approval, status, or support? If you lost your influence tomorrow, would they still answer your call? This is not meant to embitter you, it's meant to awaken you. Because once you realize that loyalty is a strategy, not a virtue, you stop being manipulated by it. You stop mistaking convenience for character, and you start watching people with different eyes. You stop asking, why did they leave me, and instead ask, why was I useful to them? This is the first step in Machiavellian self-defense. Detach from the illusion that people are loyal to you. They are loyal to their vision.
Let's take it deeper. Have you noticed how quickly people switch sides in times of crisis? One wrong word, one misunderstood post, one shift in status, and suddenly the people who loved you are gone, silent or worse, against you. This isn't betrayal, this is human nature under pressure. Machiavelli advised princes to maintain power not through love, but through calculated fear, because he knew that fear is more predictable than affection. Fear stays loyal even when love fades. In other words, people are more reliable when they need something from you than when they like you. It's harsh, but it's liberating. Because once you grasp this, you stop bleeding for fair-weather friends. You stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. And most of all, you stop being surprised when loyalty evaporates the moment you're no longer beneficial. You begin moving like a tactician, kind but not naive, open but not blind, generous but not exploitable. This is the first law of Machiavellian power. Don't depend on loyalty. Understand its expiration date. No one is your friend, not in the way you might hope. But once you accept that,
Machiavelli would call this a fatal flaw, because it hands your power over to those who care least about you. When you lead with niceness, hoping it will protect you, you become a tool, a stepping stone, a shadow people forget once they're done with you. But when you lead with presence, a quiet, unshakable sense of strength, you command attention, respect, fear. Even Machiavelli argued that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both, not because fear is cruel, but because fear creates distance, respect, boundaries.
Love, on the other hand, invites exploitation, especially in a world where most people think in terms of advantage, not virtue. And that's the cold truth. People often mistake kindness for naivety. They read softness as submission. And unless you know how to balance empathy with authority, they will walk over you, then resent you when you stand up. So how do you escape this trap? You must learn to master what Machiavelli called appearance, to be kind when it serves you, cold when it protects you, generous when it strengthens your position, and ruthless when survival demands it. This doesn't mean living inauthentically. It means recognizing that in a world full of manipulators, transparency is a liability. The man who exposes his heart to everyone ends up betrayed. The man who reveals his strategy gets sabotaged. The man who pleads for approval never earns it. Niceness without strategy is a sheep wandering into a wolf's den. Let's go deeper. Why does kindness often attract abuse? Because many people are testing the boundaries of every person they meet. Subconsciously or not, they push, they poke, they press, looking for where the line is drawn. And if you never draw that line, they conclude that none exists. They don't say it aloud, but inside they think, this person won't stop me. This person fears confrontation. I can take more. And they will. Not because they're evil, but because people respond to what you tolerate. If you let someone talk over you, they'll keep doing it. If you always give more than you receive, they'll expect it. If you never say no, you're not seen as generous, you're seen as weak. Niceness becomes a cage, one you built for yourself. So what would Machiavelli advise? He'd tell you to keep your kindness, but weaponize it. Let it be a strategy, not a default setting. Give only to those who respect the value of your gift. Speak softly, but know when to use silence as power. Help others, but never at the expense of your dignity. And most importantly, be unpredictable. Machiavelli believed unpredictability is one of the most powerful forms of protection. When people can't guess how you'll respond, when they're unsure whether your smile hides steel, they tread carefully. They respect your space. But if you always respond with passivity, you become a script they've already memorized, a puppet whose strings they can pull without effort. There's a dangerous myth that says being feared makes you evil, that strength and kindness can't coexist. But that's a lie told by people who fear losing control over you. True power lies in being both. A man who can be kind but isn't afraid to be feared, who leads with heart but never bows for scraps, who smiles but not to be liked. This is how you escape the trap of niceness, not by becoming cruel, but by becoming sovereign. So remember this, your kindness should be a gift, not an obligation. Your empathy should be chosen, not expected. And your approval should be earned, never assumed. Because when kindness is paired with strength, it becomes divine. But when kindness is all you are, it becomes your prison. Betrayal doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the people you once laughed with, trusted, and protected. And that's what makes it so devastating. It doesn't feel like an attack. It feels like a slow poison hidden behind a familiar smile.